I looked up and saw the number 7. Peace, y'all. What's up? What's up? This Camps in the Oracle. What happened, Remnants Gathering? Peace to you. I didn't think nobody was in here yet. Oh, shit. Oh, shucks. Now, we finna get it in. Y'all know when I do these pop-ups, I didn't tell y'all I was doing full moon nothing, right? I just posted a blog on the website about this full moon. And yeah, because I like to be inspired and intuitively led. So welcome, 9, Divine Feminine. Peace, Jennifer. Yes. Peace, Tina. Peace, Leslie. That's family right there. Moderators up in this thing. Peace, Indigenous Radio. Yes. Peace, Janet. Yes. Peace, Woman's Loving Life. I love your name. Y'all already know. Like, I'm not finna play with y'all tonight. We finna get it in. We finna let the moon speak. You know, I don't even want to talk. I'm gonna let the moon talk, and I'm gonna tell you why I'm saying that. For those of you who get to catch this live, you're catching something special. If you catch it later, it's still special too. But this is gonna be special. I can feel it. Yes, I love it. That is the practice, is to fall in love with life, and with all of you, embracing all of you, everything in life. Like, that is a challenge. So before I even get started, I got some Zen candles, I got some ginger, I got some amber, and I'm gonna add some eucalyptus leaves to that. So I'm gonna get it set up, because this is energy, right? So we don't have to be in the same space for you all to benefit from the energy. So I'm gonna light this candle. I got my eucalyptus in here, as you can see. Got my eucalyptus in here, and we go get it popping. I got smoky quartz everywhere. Crystals all in the backyard getting charged. Like, this whole thing is a sacred space. This is a safe space. So welcome, welcome, welcome. You know, I don't do things in order like a lot of people's channels. They, you know, I don't know how they do it. I don't know how they do it. I just have to move with the flow. So I'm Camps in the Oracle, if you don't know. And this energy was just made me such a clear channel, where I was like, okay, service to others. You know what I'm saying? Like, service to others. Age of Aquarius, that's like service to others. But then Leo is like service to self. You know, so my in Vedic astrology, my sun sign is Leo. Who would have thunk it? But if you look on your phone or an app, look at the planets and the positioning, you will see that it's actually in Capricorn, which is really, really crazy. And that's because of the equinoxes, the elliptical positioning of the planets, and it changing. I want to say 2,000 years. It's been about 2,000 years, and the layout has changed of the cosmos since then. So even though everybody's saying the full moon is in Leo, it's really in Capricorn. So we can't forget about how Ophiuchus pulled up on us, and we was like, wait a minute, a 13th zodiac, and people have been telling us 13 zodiac signs. So yeah, that's what it is. And so what I want to do, if you can, I want to take a moment. You said I got some smoky quartz. Safe space. Safe space, safe space. I'm going to take a moment and breathe. I have a 432 hertz tuning fork that I'm going to be using to just clear your mind, because this full moon energy has been commanding us to get out of our head and into our hearts. And that's like, I hate moving. Moving is like, it's not fun at all. And I like to be organized with everything. So every little bitty thing that's not organized, it frustrates me. I hate moving. But this is like moving from this mental era. Even though we're mental energy, the air energy of Aquarius, right? You're having to move into your heart. Like, when I got that this morning, I was like, damn. I'm like, I'm not gonna lie, you know, like, the heart has not been the safest space for most people. So, you know, it's just like, going back to the hood, and you made it out, you doing good, you know, you pull up in your $100,000 vehicle or whatever, you go feel a little uncomfortable, you know, you might have rims, you know, I don't know, and somebody might be wanting to take some. I mean, you might know dudes from the hood who's still in the hood that was there when you was there and who still taking stuff, you know. So it's like that. It's like moving into the heart space, but then the ego is like the heart space is not safe. That has not been safe for you. So when I got that this morning, I was like, how am I gonna do that? So, you know, I broke my singing bowl, which was tuned for the heart chakra. So I was like, okay, I don't have my singing bowl. But I was like, I got my 432 hertz auric. So we finna do some tuning. And while I'm doing this, just breathe this energy in. We going into the heart, and let's see what the heart has to say with this very strong energy of this moon. And then I'm gonna tell y'all something that happened between me and the moon. I haven't been asleep. It's probably been 2 days. So, you know, I'm probably running on lunatic energy, lunatic energy right now. But I think, you know, it is what it is. It is what it is. And I was so frustrated that I couldn't sleep. But when that message came through this morning, I was like, you know what? I got to be in my heart about the fact that I couldn't even sleep. I got to get out of my head and quit going over my mind, everything that I got to do. And I know I'm going to need to be rested to accomplish it. You know, get out of my head and into my heart. And my heart was just like, relax. Don't even worry about it. Do what you can. Relax. I'm like, okay, we're going to use this tuner for it. Because if it's happening with me, y'all probably can resonate with this too. Peace, Bronze. Black Power King. That's what I'm talking about. Weirdo gang gang. Yes. I love these. I hope y'all can hear this. Me too, heat. One more time. Y'all feel that? It's still singing. Like, even if you can't hear it, I'm going to sing. Actually, this is the 528 hertz, so this is pure love energy. Pure love energy, pure Safaggio frequency, pure Mother Earth energy. Yeah. Okay. So, y'all, I'm going to pull some cards. I'm going to go to the Sacred Rebel deck. But before I do, I want to share something with you. Like, the emotional turbulence last night was like really real. You know, it's when I interact with people now, I have this thing where I'm always feeling for what my body is doing energetically when I'm talking to people and out and about and interacting. Even just with myself, I'm becoming super sensitive to subtle energy in people and myself. And so that make it can be awkward sometimes. Again, a lot of us were not raised where it was safe to be in our heart space. So it's like telling us to go there, you know, it's like telling us to go somewhere where a lot of trauma happened and a lot of wounds happened. So last night I was like, damn, this poor moon is like, they pulled up on us, and it's like the exorcist of the ghost, you know. And my body felt like a haunted house that just had all of these different memories and traumas and programs. And I catch myself doing stuff. I catch myself moving in ways that's not in love but in fear. Like, I catch myself thinking in ways where it's supporting fear and not love. And then I get frustrated because I'm like, I should be past that by now. I know the difference between the vibrations. Or maybe you catch yourself in your process of awakening, it's just you be real hard on yourself, and that's because you up here. And when you sink down into the heart, you have a lot more patience, you have a lot more compassion, you become less worried about what people are thinking about you, because you're not thinking, you're feeling, you're in your heart, you're intuiting. So this is new for a lot of us. So as the physical, the spiritual gifts are manifesting in our physical lives, it is uncomfortable. It's uncomfortable because our telepathy turned up, and it's just like you can feel feelings before you even have the thought. So like maybe you're feeling a feeling of dread and nothing has happened, but then you have a thought and then you're like, damn, that's why I'm feeling like this. Or maybe you're feeling a fear or anxiety. You hadn't even had a thought, nothing had happened, and then something happens, or you think something and you're like, okay, that emotion was connected to that thought, but the emotion came before the thought. It's so it makes it seem like stuff is just chaotic and not moving the way you're used to it moving in the order that it's in. You can almost sense when a relationship is coming to an end or changing. Like you can feel it. And it's like the other person, if they're not awakening yet or have not gotten to this phase in the spiritual awakening, they don't feel it. You're the only one that feel it. So you look crazy when you start talking about how your relationship is changing. Like, what are you talking about? We good. We the same way we was a month ago. They don't feel it, and it can get frustrating. Where again we're picking up on subtle energy. So when you're out among people, all of a sudden like you hear these whispers and you get these feelings, and some people creep you out, and some people feel real toxic. Some people feel like maybe they just had a really bad fight and they probably was the aggressor, and you around them and you just like, I don't even want that energy on me. So I be standing in line like putting up energy bubble shields visualizing energy shields around me, and it's really interesting to be experiencing the age of Aquarius the way that we are. So I'm going to go into your heart where there is a lot of shit in there that needs to be dealt with, and that's what we're going to do with this collective reading for tonight. Thank you for the likes, shares, and subscribes. If this is resonating with you and helping you, I took time out of my evening to do this because this was really important to me. I felt heart-led, that this moon is all about learning how to be heart-led, right? How to be slow to anger, right? How to be patient with yourself, how to be compassionate, how to have moments where it's just service to others, and it's not even about me in that moment, and I'm not even attached to the outcome, and I don't even really need them to give me something or acknowledge me for doing that. I'm doing it because my heart is leading me to. It's that kind of energy. So yeah, if somebody want to get a personal, like me, pull a card for you for a specific question, we can do that too. Just, put it in the super chat or a donation and it'll pop up and I'll see it. But first I'm going to start and pull something for the collective. What's going on with the collective's heart? What's going on with the collective's heart? We've been numb. We've been afraid to feel. And I feel like a lot of us are starting to see our true selves. We're starting to see our true selves. And it's not always pretty what you're starting to see. Sometimes you're just starting to see your wounds. Then I have to catch myself because I be judging myself. And I'll project and I'll say that people judging me, or my family judging me, or my friends judging me, or my coworkers, or my boss, or whoever. Really, it's you judging you. And sometimes you're right. But if you have that thought, 9 times out of 10, you are judging yourself in that moment. Yeah, and that's just what it is. That's uncomfortable, but it just is what it is. So we're having to release judgment. Yep, absolutely. So the card, one of the cards that I pull is Spirals of Manifestation. That beautiful card. Spirals of Manifestation. Okay. It says the creative, rebellious path of love moves in spirals. It is not linear. Sometimes our mind decides that the way forward, again, the mind decides that the way forward is to take clear steps from one point to the next logical point. However, there is a genius within that can guide us on an alternative route. If there is an unnecessary pothole or delay in a typical linear path of progression, and the curved loop in the path will be quicker, more fun, and more beautiful, then why not allow yourself to be guided to that path? This can happen through trust and wisdom rather than rigid adherence to what on the surface appears to be logical progression. Remember, it's not about the logic or the mind, it's about the heart. It says you are in the midst of a spiral of manifestation. Something is coming into being, even if you think it is further away than ever before. How amazing it will seem when what you have been dreaming of falls into place. Look, this morning when I was meditating, it was just like, stop trying to force stuff to happen and learn how to let stuff fall in place. You're trying to catch every card, fall it in the air, and not let it hit the floor instead of just letting it fall in place. It's going to fall in place. How do you know it's not going to fall in place? How do you know the universe needs you to micromanage the way the cards are falling? If the shit falling, the shit falling. Let it fall and trust it's going to fall in place. And I was like, damn, that's a path of surrender. You know, like, I don't know. The path of resistance is way more familiar to me. The path of force is like, no, you got to surrender. So it goes on to say, suddenly what you have been thinking of creating will plunk into your reality, seemingly out of nowhere, because it was just around the bend, just out of the view on the spiral of manifestation. Remember, we manifest with the energy of love. Creation moves in the form of a spiral, right? Even a photon belt, we're spiraling through the photon belt right now. So like as this spiral is happening, the reason why you can't see that where you are now is leading you to where you really need to be is because of the corner on that spiral. You cannot see around that corner because you're not meant to. If you could see linear around that corner, the path to getting there, you wouldn't even have appreciation when you finally manifest what it was that your heart desired. So it says, this oracle has a message for you. Sometimes when we feel the farthest away from what we want, we are actually closer than ever before. Don't let your ego trick you out of your manifestation. You gotta be able to be like, I can't see it, I don't smell it, I don't feel it, and I don't even know if I fully believe that I'm worthy of it sometimes, but I trust the universe. I know if I just practice being in alignment and surrender, it's going to work out for me. You got to start talking big shit about yourself and your manifestation. Talking big shit talk. Big, bold, and I'm not ego, but just confident talk towards yourself. Got to do it. So it goes on to say, just one turn on the spiral loop of creation can see your manifestation that's taking root in the world, and you must hold true to your faith and keep working on your progress. Forget about believing it when you see it. Stop saying, look, the age of Pisces shit that we used to say, all them colloquialism and phrases and all that, it don't work in the age of Aquarius. It's just not working. Let it go. It's just not working. Saying stuff like, the love of money is the root of all evil. That shit ain't working in the age of Aquarius. If you want to stay in 3D, age of Pisces, it's up to you. But I'm telling you what language no longer works because it was keeping us trapped. So you must say, I walk by faith and not by sight. And eventually that faith will become a knowing, where you won't have to see it around the corner. You just go know that what's around the corner is exactly what you need. Don't that feel good? That you don't have to live in fight or flight, but you can go into rest and digest, and you can let the parasympathetic nervous system do what it's supposed to do for you. It says any old soul or young soul can do this. You are bigger, braver, and more of an ancient soul. You have enough chutzpah to believe. It's so that you can see it sooner and bigger and brighter. Do not give in to those who tell you that it should have happened already. Or maybe you're telling yourself that. Or that you have failed. They are just suffering from a lack of patience and understanding, as well as an arrogant assumption that their notion of timing is somehow superior to the greater divine timing that's at play in your life. Let me read that one more time. They are just suffering, and sometimes this is parts of us, the suffering from a lack of patience. Remember I said patience and compassion with yourself, understanding. Right? So they are suffering from a lack of patience and understanding, as well as an arrogant assumption that their notion of timing is somehow superior to the greater divine timing at play in life. Be in goodwill with yourself and the universe. All is unfolding perfectly, whether you feel it right now or not. This oracle also brings a message to you about the perfect synchronicities that have been taking place in your life. You may have started to notice these already. When we live from the heart, I can't make this up. Honor our creative center and choose unlikely but lovingly rebellious ways to be in the world. We will begin to notice synchronicity every day. It is as though the universe is speaking to us intimately on all matters, which of course it is. This oracle reminds you that there is no point in rushing to the bus stop. If you are way too early, you are just wasting your time. Better to live your life at a more appropriate pace and get there at the right time. You don't need the anxiety that comes from rushing towards your destiny. Try not to worry quite so much about the future. You will attract what you want and need so much more enjoyably if you relax and deal with the here and now. This is really good. Remember, too, that your life path is unfolding in harmony with the paths of others. You will meet with each other for the greatest benefit when you trust in the flow of the one, the great creative spiral upon which this galaxy spins. Everything is ultimately in harmony with everything else to fulfill the great big creative intent of the supreme creative force of love, and you're included in that. Lucky you. So, a healing process that you can use to activate these words that I have shared with you in your heart, because the heart must be activated. Because it's so much stuff, because the heart had not been a safe space, the space has to be cleansed. It has to be nurtured, cultivated, and that is what activates the heart space. So the heart space starts feeling safer because you're cleaning it out. You're cultivating yourself. You're practicing self-love. You're practicing not being in a hurry, not being in a rush, knowing that timing will work out in a divine manner for you. That's why we get the synchronicities. That's why we waking up at 222 and seeing 333 and 444 and 1111, because that is the reminder of the soul to us. Hey, this is divine timing. You don't have to micromanage the universe. The universe lives inside you. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, chill out. It's coming. So the healing process, this is what you can do. You can say out loud, spirals of creation, spirals of light, you bring my manifestation to life. I trust in your wisdom and in your grace. Help me be wise and keep the faith. And you can repeat that over and over again if you need to. Spirals of creation, spirals of light, you bring my manifestation to life. I trust in your wisdom and in your grace. Help me be wise and keep the faith. That, like, what more can I say? You know, I had a moment where sometimes I get ahead of myself. So, you know, I'm doing way more than I need to be doing. You know, and something is always going to fall to the wayside. And it was just like, relax. Like, you're trying to do too much. You're trying to take on too much, you know. And again, the heart just don't feel safe. Is this resonating with anybody? Am I the only one over here like, this right here is speaking to me so much. Just learning how to be in the flow.
Hello.
Hey, Ty. Peace. So, you know, make your heart space safe. Don't let the ghosts of your past haunt your temple. Don't allow your temple to be haunted. You know, you feel the heat. That's what's up. Hey, Sheila. Yes. Yes. It's scary in here. To be in here, this is scary as hell. Everybody say, hey. You finished writing your words?
Yeah, bro.
It is so scary because when you try to get in that space, what happens is your nervous system just starts going crazy, and it's just like, the last time you did this, the last time you lost yourself in a relationship, the last time you did this, it failed, the last time you started a business, it didn't work out, the last time you started a class, you never finished stuff that you do. Like, the mind just starts haunting you, and you have to cultivate your heart. So one thing that I try to do is practice rituals of vulnerability. So this could be something that you could do. A ritual of vulnerability would be, what's up? I see my best friend in here. Hey, best friend. Yes, I told you, girl. You can't be missing this. Good stuff. But practice being vulnerable. Okay? Now, the strange thing about being vulnerable, that don't mean that you just take down your walls with everybody. But what it means is there are people in your life that you know you can be more vulnerable with, that you can be more honest with, and that you could be more transparent with, and maybe you don't because you're trying to spare their feelings, or maybe you're trying to avoid conflict and things like that. All of that stuff disempowers you, and it takes you off of your center. You're not grounded. You're not fully in your body and owning everything that you feel in that moment. So when you start trying to come into the heart and out of the head space, you're gonna feel this nervousness, and you might even start sweating, you know. And so I have a tendency, because I grew up in an abusive home, you know, and had abusive relationships, I can get very codependent and some real caretaking kind of energy, where I feel like I have to micromanage everybody's emotions around me, and I got to make sure everybody good, and I got to make sure everybody's satisfied, and that you like dinner, and you know, it's crazy. And I'll catch myself, and I'll be like, damn, you ain't even ate yet. You hadn't even made you a plate. You had, you know, and even with y'all, I'll do that. I'll be doing stuff for y'all and putting stuff together to activate you in your lives, and don't take the time out to do it myself. So when you start coming more into your heart and out of your head space, you're gonna have to have boundaries. So even though you're learning to be more honest, which is characteristic of being vulnerable, you're going to have boundaries, and then you're going to have to communicate those boundaries, and you're going to have the courage to allow things to fall in place. Stuff don't rise in place. Typically, falling in place denotes something changing. It feels like it's out of your control and you can't control where it's landing. That's so stressful. Like, we're not meant to live in stress. So when you feel like somebody is not acknowledging your boundaries, being a ritual of vulnerability would be going to them and saying, I don't feel like you're respecting my boundaries. I don't feel like you're really listening to me. I've communicated this to you time and time again. You continue to do this, and it is hurtful. So I'm going to withdraw my energy from this situation right now because it's toxic, and I don't do stuff that don't benefit me anymore. That's the old me. And that shit might just been 5 minutes ago, but it's still the old you. So you're in that spiral of creation where you're continuing to spiral into the person that you came here to be. So that is a ritual of vulnerability. And it is so hard to do, especially if you was raised by narcissists. Maybe your ass is narcissistic. You have tendencies to be selfish. We all have shadow aspects that are toxic that we're not proud of. We have some that are positive. But these rituals it's like you got this person in this hand, you got 2 more people in this hand, you got somebody on one of your feet, you got somebody on a knee, and you like this trying to hold your balance and hold everything up. But sometimes you just gotta relax and just let that shit fall where it may. Do this mean that you might lose someone? Absolutely, it does. But is it not worth it to lose somebody that you gain yourself back? You know, that you gain your full self back? See, a lot of us we're holding ourselves back and we're saying it's other people, but it's really that we're in fear because we're afraid to say certain things. We're afraid to be vulnerable. We're afraid to trust the universe. We're afraid to trust our ancestors with the real problems. We'll take the little bitty stuff to them. Ancestors, give me some guidance today. I really don't know what to do. Ancestors, be with me on today and protect me, you know. But like the real shit, we don't take to them because we know when they get on it, like some stuff go pop off. And sometimes like 80% of you might be ready, but 20% of you might be like, nah, I'm not ready for that. You know, so you got to be honest with yourself as to where you are so that you can see the true you, which was the next card that I pulled. And look at this picture. What do you see right up under her? What is she resting on? She's resting on a couch with a spiral. This is seeing the true you. So I'm going to read this next. It says, sometimes we believe what others tell us we are, as though the self we see reflected back to us through their eyes is true. Yet the accuracy of a reflection depends on the clarity of that which is doing the reflecting. If the receiver forms any opinion about what is perceived, then what is reflected back to us will at best be distorted. It is not necessarily through ill will. It is just the mechanics of the situation. Even the moon reflects the sun in varying degrees of fullness and clarity. And it's at 9 degrees, which is signifying the, fruits. The harvest, So like we have to really look at it and be like, okay, what seeds have I planted? What chickens have come home to roost? Like, what am I looking at now? How did I get here? Okay, let me move different, So it goes on to say, we can learn something of the nature of the sun from the moon, but not as much through direct perception. Your perception will always be more profound than the reflection you're getting from people in your life. So even though people say that everything in your life is a projection of something inside of you, It's still determined on the way you are perceiving the situation. So someone may be holding a mirror up to you saying, look at you. You worthless, you not about shit, you can't do nothing right, you know, like whatever their frustrations are about you. But you can be looking at yourself and you're like, yeah, but I'm working on those things and I do feel like I have gotten better. But they don't see that. So what are you going to believe? Are you going to believe the reflection that's being shown to you, or are you going to believe the perception that's coming from your heart space? Because again, if the mirror dirty, the reflection is not going to be clear. It says this oracle has come to you because you have been putting rather too much faith in the reflection others have of you, to the point that you might not be honoring all that you are and all that you are becoming, because you believe too little of yourself. There may be those around you that are able to reflect you more faithfully and even help you to see more of your own greatness and beauty. These are the souls blessed with inner stillness. In the clear waters of their ocean of consciousness, you can come to recognize yourself with clearer perception. However, there are those who have not tended to their own ocean and are unable to be still enough to genuinely receive and reflect your light back to you. There is no judgment here. Each takes the path of self-healing that is available and appropriate at any given time. However, to attempt to see the magnificence of a sun and a very partial moon doesn't make too much sense. If you are blessed with those in your life who can show you the beauty within you, that's wonderful. Even so, this oracle comes to you with a task you are now ready for. You are to begin to develop the art of direct perception. This is the ability to recognize yourself, not only in the eyes of others, but from how you feel about yourself, how you experience yourself, and how you observe yourself with compassion and kindness from within. This is a step towards a radical empowerment that does not require perfection in order for you to recognize you are lovable and you have much to offer. It is important based on the acceptance of all that you are, working with your strengths, tending to your weaknesses, and being loving, encouraging, and nurturing of all that you perceive. As you continue on this journey, you will not only see your human self, but the eternal within you. This is a breathtaking experience that opens you up to the creative energy that flows abundantly through all of life. It is an experience that takes great preparation because we must be strong within our own self-love and acceptance to be able to hold acceptance for all of life. This oracle is nudging you into that preparation. For when you have the experience of truly beholding yourself, all judgment, fear, and doubt will fall away, and you will just know yourself to be sacred. Then you will be asked to embrace the deeper journey of sacred rebellion against judgment and fear, and into passionate creativity and unconditional trust in life. This oracle comes with a special message for you if you are getting confused about who you are and your motives or actions based on what others are saying or how they are responding to you. Step back. In your quest to be a responsible person, you may be unintentionally taking on the feelings of others and making their reflections of you more than they are in truth. More often than not, reflections are more about the state of the reflector than what is being reflected. Let those external perceptions go. Can you just acknowledge yourself? Do so and be free. So, we're finally being allowed the space to say, no, I don't identify with that. That may be true. I may have done that yesterday, but I don't identify with that today because I see how that was not beneficial. And so I'm not even going to identify with that. You choose what you identify with. So somebody can be showing you all of your flaws, and you can just be like, I just identify with the fact that I'm in a process of spiritual awakening, and thank you for showing me my flaws, but I identify with who I am in my higher self perspective. That is my divinity, not my identity. Because the identity is from these reflections from your family, growing up, maybe ex-boyfriend, girlfriends, husbands, wives, even children, especially teenage and adult children. I mean, they can make you feel like you're the shittiest parent in the world sometimes, you know? And sometimes people are, the reflection that they're showing us really is showing us more about them than it is about us. So in that moment, you have to say, I have a choice with what I identify with. So if you don't want to identify anymore with being an angry, fearful, you know, jealous person, then you can begin detaching yourself from that and saying, I don't identify with that. I may have those characteristics, but I am healing and working on them. I trust the process, and I choose to identify with what I know is going to be for my upliftment. Because people will try to break you down just because they're wounded. And it is not necessarily because they bad people or, you know, we're all wounded and we have all hurt someone. So this goes back to the arrogance of feeling like, you know, you got to watch yourself and make sure that you're not being arrogant and feeling like, you know, well, because spiritual arrogance is definitely something that you experience when you're going through a spiritual awakening. I mean, you get to a point where you just like, I got this spiritual shit on lock in comparison to all of y'all, and you can get into like a spiritual ego. So, you know, you don't want to lean into that. You want to lean more into, I have free will, and I choose to identify myself with being a loving person who knows how to manage their anger in a healthy way. It's just restructuring the wording in a sentence. So yeah, you can make adjustments to what they're reflecting back to you, but you can't change them. You know, work on how you feel about you from within. So a healing process that you can do, and the full moon is great for these healing processes. This is why I'm giving these. These are really like rituals that you could do. So you're gonna say this, and you're gonna make sure that you feel what you are saying. So if you want to, you can just repeat after me. I now, and if you want me to, some of y'all like, I don't know if I trust that. If I read it and it doesn't resonate, don't repeat it. But only repeat it if it resonates. I now break any contract I have ever made with another, consciously or unconsciously, that has given them power over me. Power over my sense of self. The authority to approve or reject me or anything about me, including my voice, my body, my creativity, spirituality, and way of living. Of my own free will, I now choose to directly perceive my own inner beauty and turn within with kindness and compassion to see myself through the eyes of unconditional love. So mote it be. It's time. It is time that we take our power back. You have broken those contracts. So, you know, get ready, because the challenge is going to be, can I see my reflection, whether what I'm saying reflected back is beautiful or not, and still bring love to it? Can I love myself unconditionally? Because when you truly start to love yourself unconditionally, you're going to find yourself to give way less fucks about what other people think about you. And it's not because you don't care about people. You're not concerned with how you impact other people's lives. Not any of that. But you just become so filled with unconditional love that even their judgments of you don't take you into a negative space. It may take you into an introspective space about yourself, but not a negative space where you're beating up on yourself. And that's what most of us who are awakening are used to doing. So the heart is a safe space. It is a sacred space. It just needs a little fine tuning, you know? And yeah, I'm happy with this. If you're not charging your water, sit you some water on the windowsill tonight. Let that water get charged. I put a post on Camson the Oracle, Camson underscore the underscore Oracle on Instagram on how I charge my water. Charge your water, charge your crystals. Hell, you could charge your tarot cards. Like, have something that you're going to keep with you throughout this moon phase to remind you that you have free will and that you decide how you see yourself. And you will not allow other people's convoluted reflections of you make you feel some kind of way about yourself. And this is going to make you feel proud of yourself, to hold on to yourself. So I hope y'all enjoyed this. Did anybody want me to pull a card before I get off? You know, we got to get baby girl in bed and ready for school and all that good stuff. But would somebody like for me to pull a card? If anybody got a question, just put something in the super chat. I'm going to hang around for a few more minutes and see what y'all saying in the chat. Let me see. Y'all got me over here. Yeah. Peace, Laverne. Oh, the kings come, or you're like, yeah, speaking to me. Peace, Tunes. We got people all around the world in this thing. It's beautiful. Yes. My best friend just raised her hand. I didn't even know there was a emoji. Yeah. Oh, wow. Toon says I have to cut people off and be around more like-minded people. Absolutely. That's so important. And if you can't find like-minded people, be by yourself until you do. Sheila, you just had this conversation yesterday? Peace Study to Achieve. Absolutely, you can get a reading. Just go to the website, REMNANTSGATHERING.com, and yeah, book a reading with me. Absolutely. Woman's Loving Life got the website up there for you. Open 642 says sometimes the people around you show you that it's not for you to cut them off, but rather to remove yourself from them. Yeah, and a lot of times, the only reason why people stay in our lives really is because we the lifeline and we hold it on to them. But like when you just let the cards fall where they may, and you stop giving too many fucks, and you stop, you know, giving too much of yourself, investing more of yourself than they're investing, like the vibration just gets so dissonant to where they don't even want to be around. And sometimes it happens in like stages, and you know, you just get further and further apart away from each other. So yeah, you don't always have to force stuff. Sometimes it's just stop trying to save stuff that may not be benefiting you anymore, and that will resolve the issue. Oh, Laverne, it's your birthday? Pull a card for your birthday? Yeah. Okay, y'all know I'm on some service to others, so we can pull a card for your birthday. Let's see. Even though I said super chat, it's all good, Laverne. It's your birthday. It's your birthday. Let's see. What message is there for Laverne? Laverne, it's time for you to make conscious connections. I feel like this is going to be for a lot of people, actually. Conscious connections. Look at that. Is that not vulnerable? Look at that. Where she's just like, I'm not even trying, like, whatever. I ain't got no clothes on. I'm not stressing. Conscious connections. This is a call for more intimacy in your immediate relationship. See, a lot of us are afraid of intimacy. If you're afraid of conflict, 9 times out of 10, you're really afraid of intimacy. And your fear of intimacy makes you avoid conflict, because conflict is a form of intimacy. I mean, as long as it's not getting to the point where you like physically harming each other. Conflict, like verbally, that's a form of intimacy. And a lot of us avoid conflict because we don't like the uncomfortable feeling of that type of intimacy. So yeah, it's time for you to open your heart and communicate. Maybe there's a broken relationship or friendship that needs some healing. Sometimes it's hard to bear the difference between one or another. One person may be willing to live life in high definition, while another may prefer to live it more vicariously until they have done the confidence to step onto the center stage of their own life story. A lot of people just not ready to step into their light, you know? But we're not here to judge each other, just to love and be loved, and to let go of those who cannot accept us as we open up to those who can. So, yes, you have some sacred connections with people who really get you. Maybe that's your soul tribe right now, you know? And the inspiration is just going to come from those relationships. So I think a lot of us are experiencing needing those conscious connections. Can't be unconscious no more. Not the age of Aquarius is not having it. Goddess One, every time I get in a place of doubt, I always get confirmation. It's true. Oh, Garfield, you wrote your love letter today? That's good. It's so important. It's so important. Yeah, Laverne, that vulnerability. We just have to have, if you are already a vulnerable person, you got to make sure that you're enforcing your boundaries. So I'm going to close out. And I hope that this was inspirational and encouraging to y'all. Before I do, I'm going to share a video on a community tab that I wanted to share, but I was afraid to, because again, when you start actually enforcing boundaries and honoring yourself, people who are not supportive of that is going to be friction. So just know it's not all butterflies and you know, butterflies and unicorns skipping through fields of cotton candy flowers. Sometimes you step into a pile of shit and it's like, whoa, but it's like, okay, all right, I needed to step in. I needed to step in this right now. I needed to step in this. It don't feel good, you know. It don't smell good. Like this not what up. And sometimes you just really need to feel what that connection is bringing and doing for you to start making conscious decisions to honor yourself. And the more you do that, people who do not love you unconditionally and honor you, they will just go away. You know, you won't have to force them. They will go away because you're not trying to salvage something that is not meant to be salvaged. You know, you can trust the universe to do a lot of the heavy lifting. So that's the beauty of being in alignment and paying attention to symbols and signs and synchronicities. All right, y'all. So I'm going to share the video. Watch the video. You probably want to take notes. I've been taking notes and just making sure that I'm enforcing my boundaries for myself, you know. But yeah, you got to trust yourself, love yourself, respect yourself. So I hope that this was, I know it was because it felt good to me. So I hope it felt as good to y'all as it did to me. If I smoked cigarettes, I would probably light up a cigarette right about now because this was good. So check out the website, y'all. We got products. I'm going to be working on some new things tonight. I got crystals coming, like some major stuff that we're working on. So stay tuned on the website. Make sure that you are signed up, that you're getting the emails when we send them out to let you know when we have new products and things like that available. We love y'all. Peace to you. Enjoy this full moon energy of love and courage to live in your heart space. It is now safe. Peace.